So we had a research process before this where we had to pick a teammate. So this was our initial research process on Cadbury, which was our parent brand that we had to work with. We worked with mind maps and like history. We did conduct one survey to see how people feel about Cadbury as a brand, but we did a lot of different other like research where we watched YouTube videos for advertisements and we read news articles, websites for different categories, so packaging and color, why the color was used, or what type of fonts they use, what mood they're planning to trying to bring. So we had to use different types of research. I saw that their advertisement and their packaging, all of it ties towards their core values or the belief that they're trying to inculcate in people. It's like a very well researched, few things we would not even notice unless we look into it, which would make a lot of sense for the brand. This was all part of the initial research process, and then once we finished that, we were given a brief where we had to decide what sort of eatery we want to make our parent brand into. So I chose like a resto bar. So it was a contemporary casual resto bar, and I really wanted to work with experiments or a very science or scientist feeling, because I feel like alcohol and chocolate as are two different concepts that people don't really experiment. So the word experiment really stuck with me throughout, listing different traits that I wanted to bring into the brand, and then we had to compare it with the core value and the vision of the parent brand. I feel like this was the most intense research I've done in my entire life. This project helped me understand that research is very important and that you can also enjoy it. Because it was documented, it was easier because I was getting stuck in between. So it was easier to go back and take a look at it to understand things a bit better and then come back. I feel like there was one prompt, so this one was the most effective for me because we had to use words that we associate with the brand, and we had to doodle. They gave us different prompts, so we had to doodle at least 30 different icons, or work with typography, work with patterns. So it was very prompt, it was very quick. So you just use what's at the top of your head, right? So I feel like that helped a lot. So we had to come up with different names and taglines for our brand, bring in visuals which we would want to use for our inspiration. We work on it digitally or on pen and paper, but I found digital to be a bit easier. So we had to come up with a logo with a pattern, motif and a pattern, and come up with typography options for 3 concepts. And that time I had also come up with a mascot because I wanted to bring in the whole sign feeling, and I wanted to have a mascot as well because I've never worked with characters and I really love cartoons and doodling. And I feel like our peer opinion was really helpful. When we get feedback from our peers, we think about it. Why would they say that? Because they're also in the same boat as us. So they would probably have a reason to why this would be better, and I feel like that really helped for me. So the color, initially I was very stuck on using only Cadbury shades, and I was also wanting to merge 2 concepts that weren't really working. But when my friend Akhil, he told me that maybe think about it this way, you could just leave it out for this and use it for something else. And he showed me why it was not working. That was very helpful. So after that, we had to come up with a brand identity guideline. So we had to work with color variations, which I have not done before. And every variation has to be thought of. It just can't be because I have this in my color palette. So I learned to bring meaning into every aspect of the design, especially with the logo. So why I have brought the swirl, why I have the stars, and why the S and the E are slanting, and why I've used this font that's very curvy. I knew that this was working for the brand initially, but I didn't think of it as why this was working. So when I could attach meaning into it, it became more meaningful for me. Like the design, I connected with it. So when I can, I feel like other people can as well, right? I feel like the brand identity guidelines help me understand how like bigger brands work, because every aspect is thought of, and I've always been in awe of how everything is thought of and like every aspect is taken care of. I just didn't understand how they were doing it. Like, I learned everything that I wanted to regarding that through this project. This was the most challenging project or module that we've done so far. But I feel like it was the best as well. I usually work with muted tones and I don't really experiment with color. I don't know why that is, but every time I start looking at color, if the color is muted or like light, I'm attracted towards those colors. But these colors are not really muted, or there are pastel shades as well. But I have a lot of brighter colors that I'll have to work with as well, right? So that way, understanding color and moving fast, because we know Cadbury as a brand. So breaking beyond that and coming up with another scheme that will work for Cadbury as well, but my brand too, was very challenging because, like I said, I'm not good with color. So I could break free from that with this project, like exploring different colors. We worked with Prachi ma'am, who has a lot of experience, and even though she has a lot going on, she always took the time to give proper feedback. So here, when someone in that position comes down to help you with the bare minimum, like the most basic thing, I was very happy, and I didn't expect that. So it's very nice. I wish like a lot of people can experience this.